What's up, everybody? It's Sid and Millie back with another episode.
Facts.
As you know, we've been chatting about the World Cup a lot,
A bunch.
so literally a bunch. So, just kind of wanted to get on here and talk about another big upset, I guess, that we saw at the maybe not upset, but
Yeah, yeah.
like you said, it's the
Host
first
nation.
host nation to get
Yeah,
knocked out. So kind of a big upset in
yeah,
that
yeah.
regard. But yeah, so
So
just
which
kind of
game
wanted
is it?
to talk about the England and Mexico game.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Okay. Yeah,
Millie.
of course. So yeah, getting into it, we've been keeping up with the World Cup, discussing some of the games that we thought were notable, and yeah, as Sid mentioned, one of the host countries, Mexico, was knocked out of the World Cup by England. So we felt like it's a relevant topic to talk about. And
Yes.
obviously, if you watched the game, if not, you missed an absolute stunner. This was the game of the World Cup so far.
Yeah.
Action packed, end to end football, attacking on both sides. Mexico really showing up and kind of stunning England a good bit. Not only, they got their comeback goal, tons of controversy, just everything. It was an all encapsulating match.
Yeah.
That was fantastic from start to end. And yeah, it was a great match. Great fun watching for a neutral. And yeah, that was that was
Yeah.
it.
Little recap there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say? What were some kind of big takeaways from the game for you?
Big takeaways for me. One was, this kind of maybe expectation of the European football teams, right? Like they
Mm.
kind of have this chip on their shoulder thinking that a lot of these other countries and nations aren't going to be quite up for the challenge, because they don't quite have the same caliber of players as like the English national team, for
Okay.
example. But I think, Mexico really showed England exactly what they were capable of. They showed them that they weren't going to roll over. It wasn't going to be an easy game. And up until about 30 minutes in the game, Mexico was primarily the dominant team. They had
Mm.
more shots, more chances created, and were massively dominant in the first period of the match up until Jude showed up.
Yeah. So what
um,
happened with
yeah,
that?
well, I mean, I think Jude Bellingham, he has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, he is a different person when he puts on the English jersey.
Mm.
He's just unbelievable. I mean, not to say he's not great with Real Madrid, in
Okay.
his
Oh, he
clubs.
plays for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not
got
to
it.
say he's not, fantastic with
Yeah.
them as well.
But how do you mean
But
he like
with
is a different?
England,
Yeah.
he is just the heart and soul of the team. I mean, he is everywhere, breaking up plays, beating players, running with the ball, taking space, creating opportunities, and then once again finishing opportunities in
Hmm.
key moments, being the guy that can also finish plays, not just start them but finish them. He is such a key player for England and such a phenomenon at the World Cup. I
Mm.
mean, he is by far England's best player by a country mile, easily, and by far one of the best midfielders at this World Cup.
Wow.
Jude Bellingham has been on a level of his own, honestly. So yeah, he really was the English player that was fighting hard in those first 30 minutes, and he was the key for England. So it only made sense that he was the one to score the first goal, and
Yeah.
he was there. Um,
Was that the header?
that was the
That
diving
was the
header.
header.
Yeah,
That was
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
What
Oh
a
my
finish! Yeah,
gosh.
Jude, man, wow, that was phenomenal.
That was crazy.
And then also credit to Saka because the ball he chipped in to Jude was fantastic. He picked out his runner, put the ball into a dangerous area, and teed it up perfectly for it to be attacked by an oncoming attacker. So credit to Saka for creating that opportunity as well, because it was one of the first times in the game that Saka had actually had the opportunity to run at his outside back.
Ah,
And you see
okay.
what I'm saying about how important it is for wingers to run at their outside backs. It creates danger all the time,
Hmm.
especially when the attacker is as crafty as Saka is. So great ball, great assist from Saka, and yeah, Jude Bellingham, just unbelievable header, great finish.
Yeah, that was
That's a
insane.
player in confidence for sure. And then
For
the
sure.
second goal came literally like a minute later. I don't even know if a minute passed before his
Really?
second goal. Yeah, I mean it was
Dang.
kickoff. England won the ball
Oh,
back,
that's
and then the first attack off of the kickoff when England won the ball back, whatever cross comes in, Jude, boom, 2-0. I mean, the Azteca was silenced. It was crazy. I mean, it's, Mexico was playing on their home field, one of their home legendary
Yeah.
stadiums in the Azteca. So for the stadium to kind of be stunned with the back-to-back punches, man, yeah, it was
Crazy.
drama. It was drama. And then, from there, Mexico didn't stop. They didn't give up. And I think that really speaks volumes to what they have as a team and the unity that they've created within their group. They're playing one of the favorites at this tournament, a team that's expected to go to the quarters, to the semis, and beyond easily. Like for England, anything less would be a disappointment.
Yeah, true.
So England has a lot of expectation. So Mexico showing up, out shooting them, out possessing them, out big chance creating them, really highlights that Mexico is not playing around.
No.
That is a serious footballing team in Mexico. And I think the Mexican national team, they can be really proud as a host nation of what they accomplished here at this World Cup. Obviously disappointing to go out, but nonetheless, they've put on performances in every single game.
Yeah.
They did. There was not a single game when you were like, man, yeah, this Mexico team. No, it was undeniable that this Mexican team was serious and they showed up to play.
Yeah.
And they deserve credit for that because they made England work for it.
They did. And it was an intense game.
It was.
It was made to be like a very intense, exciting game to watch, especially.
Yeah. And I mean, Mexico had over 20 shots. And, one stat that doesn't necessarily get picked up apart from the shots is the amount of crosses Mexico had.
Oh,
I mean, the keeper, he had countless catches, like crosses that were well dealt with. And it just highlights, how important, again, a secure goalkeeper is for the back line, because some of those crosses and stuff that he comfortably held onto, it made a big difference for England. Because again, Mexico was piling on the pressure, especially once England got the red card.
Yeah.
Which was
the red card.
The red card.
Should we talk about the red card?
Of course we're going to talk about the red card. So England, it was 2-1, I believe, at this point. And, again, very high intensity game. Challenges were flying in. It was getting very heated between players. The ref did not do a good job of calming the game down. The crowd was into it, was getting rowdy as well. So there was just a ton of energy like reverberating in the Azteca last night. So much so.
Yeah.
And then, you want to talk about the challenge?
I don't remember it.
Oh, okay. Well, the England player essentially goes in, slides in. I think the key element is that he jumped into the tackle. So he jumped into his slide tackle, studs showing over top of the ball, makes brief contact with the ball, but definitely connects with the player as well, and is shown a straight red card.
Yeah, brief contact with the ball, but then follows through and kicks the guy basically in the knee, and the guy's leg goes out. And he ends up teetering over basically and falling.
It was a brutal challenge. But and it was just one of those moments in the game. It was a 50-50. The ball was kind of equal distance between both players when they went in for it. It was just a tackle that didn't need to be made. There was just no need for it. I mean, even if the Mexican player had picked up possession in that part of the field, if the outside back had held his position, there would have been no harm done. You would have been just 1v1 defending, a couple yards inside of your own half, but close enough to midfield where it wasn't necessarily a dangerous play.
Right.
And so, my college coach would call that a home run tackle. That's what he would reference.
Because you're sliding like baseball.
Exactly.
Softball,
you're essentially you're trying to win it all with this tackle. You think it's going to change the game if you win this tackle.
It did. He didn't win the tackle.
It did change the game. Not in a good way. But anyway, so he went in for this crazy home run tackle, and completely got it wrong. So it was a red card for sure.
Yeah.
But FIFA kind of opened up the door for this by suspending the sentence for the American player who got also shown a red card.
Yeah.
So now essentially this begs the question of, can England now reach out to FIFA, have the king or a prime minister reach out to FIFA and now get this red card suspended, similar to the United States.
I mean, FIFA has set a dangerous precedent
They
with
have.
that by allowing the US to basically like phone a friend and be
Yeah.
like, hey,
Exactly.
can we just expunge that? But it's like genuinely what we're seeing in this country right now.
I mean,
not to be political,
yeah, I mean,
but
FIFA is never going to beat the corruption allegations.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. They will never beat the allegations while they're moving like this. And, we've already seen Belgium tried to appeal the decision. That repeal was denied. And now France has now petitioned FIFA to try and get some yellow cards expunged from the Paraguay game. So again, FIFA opened up a dangerous can of worms by
like
suspending
box.
exactly whilst by suspending the sentence. And now it's opened a dangerous precedent. So now England does have every right, within what FIFA has done at this World Cup to try and get their right back to be able to play again in their next game.
I mean,
why not?
Yeah, why shouldn't they? If someone else has already gotten that benefit from doing that, there's
literally zero risk involved.
No.
You could maybe call him, maybe offer him some bread, I don't know.
I don't know, yeah.
I mean, we know he's corrupt, right? He'll probably accept it. So, but there is actually a clause in the FIFA bylaws which institutes if a political representative gets involved in a FIFA proceeding, the country can actually be suspended from FIFA as a whole. So if FIFA's own investigative body, when they inevitably get sued over this, if the investigative body that is looking into this case finds FIFA to be guilty, the United States actually runs the risk of being barred from FIFA for a certain amount of time. So, it's all fun and games until it leads to an entire country potentially getting suspended from FIFA. So, but
fun and games until you have to face the consequences of your actions.
Right. But anyway, that's a little off topic, but needless to say, England, if you're out there, go ahead and try and get your guy for the next match. Not? Red cards apparently don't matter under this FIFA president.
So
so that was a big controversy with that. But shortly thereafter, Mexico did give up that penalty kick, which Harry Kane bodied into the goal. I mean, guy was trying to put a hole through the net. That is my type of penalty. He gets me. Rip it, man. You know what I'm saying? Just hit it, bro.
Yes.
Like, hit it. Yes, choose your corner, obviously, but choose your corner and then put a hole in the net. And that's what Harry Kane did. The goalkeeper had no chance, even though he gets the right way. He was never saving that because Harry Kane ripped it. So that was a penalty that I could appreciate. And at that point, England was up 3-1, but they were up 3-1 and down a man. And that obviously changed the dynamic of the game completely. Thomas Tuchel, from his time in London, must have picked up one of those double-decker red buses and they parked it for the entire rest of the game. They did not even try and get past midfield. They just cleared the ball, booted it upfield, and Mexico was trying everything. Crosses, shots, big diagonals, saying? They were trying everything, every trick in the book, and they just couldn't lock it. They couldn't hack it. And fair credit to England. Thomas Tuchel brought some giants with him in Dan Burn, who's like 6'7". So some of those guys got subbed on to do some defensive duties, and they succeeded. They were great. They were winning headers left and right, clearances, blocking shots. And it was needed. I mean, Mexico was piling on the pressure. And that's exactly what you expect. Mexico was playing, they were risking it all to try and get the win. And I can appreciate that. And through their risk, they were rewarded by getting a penalty kick. Harry Kane ended up giving up a penalty on the other end of the pitch when he was trying to make a clearance. And that was a pivotal moment for Mexico. And they converted that penalty kick, which was great. It was 3-2 and it even heightened the intensity. It started getting crazy after that. But bar none, best game of the tournament. Most energy, most back and forth, most at stake, like everything so far. All encompassing. That England-Mexico game was peak. That was fantastic. And we were, if you've already seen the Spain-Portugal game, it was a bit of a letdown today. We'll get into that a bit later. But for now, the Mexico-England game, it was a heater. Just a fantastic match of football. Two teams that really left it all out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
You know, I still think Tuchel is making a mistake by not utilizing Kobe Mainu. I think, you
100%.
know, we know the type of player that Kobe Mainu is because we are watching him week in and week out. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see what happens throughout the tournament. I still think, you know, England's lull in the first 30 minutes of the match again is largely caused by the fact they don't have a dominant midfielder to partner with Jude Bellingham. And yeah, they have one on the bench that's not being used. So
Free Kobe.
if, you know, Thomas Tuchel wants to have a dominant match where England is the dominant team, the better team on the pitch, and actually moves the ball well and can possess well and, you know, is dominant in the midfield, you know what you need to do. But until then, England will just, you know, keep battling through their matches, I guess.
Yeah. See,
It
see
doesn't
what
have
they
to be
do.
this way,
Yeah.
Thomas. It doesn't have to be this way. But anyway, yeah, those were our thoughts on the Mexico England game. Unfortunately for Mexico, they were the first hosts knocked out of the World Cup. But credit to them, they were fantastic throughout the tournament,
True.
and you know they should be proud of their performance. So
Absolutely.
so yeah,
Yeah. So if you made it this far,
thanks for watching.
we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.